everyone! Today I'm going to be showing you how to crochet a granny square for beginners, and I'm going to be using Knit Picks Shine worsted in the color Pistachio and a 5mm crochet hook, some scissors, and a yarn needle. All of these materials will be linked in the description box so that you can get the same things I'm using to work on your first granny square. What we're going to start is we're going to create a magic loop or a magic circle. And how you do this is you take 2 fingers, you wrap the yarn around the 2 fingers 3 times, and then you insert your hook underneath the first or all 3 of the bars, and then you're going to pull that 3rd loop attached to the rest of your yarn under the first 2, just like that. So now you should have a circle to work into. So we're just going to pinch that circle, and you're going to chain up 3, 1, 2, 3. And you can pull this little tail to tighten it up a little bit. And so now we're going to start working on the rest of the granny square. So we're going to double crochet, which is yarning over, insert your hook through that circle that we created, yarn over again and pull up a loop. So now you should have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through those first 2 loops on your hook. So now there's 2 left. You're going to yarn over again and pull through those 2 loops. So now you should have 2 of these bars. One is the chain 3 at the beginning, and then one being the double crochet. You're going to make another double crochet. Once again, that's yarning over once, inserting your hook into that circle, yarning over again, pulling up a loop, so you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So now you can see that there's a cluster of 3, and for the granny square we're just going to repeat those 3 clusters. So next you chain. I like to chain 2. You can do 3 or 1 or none. This is just how I like to do them. Then you're going to yarn over, insert your hook back into that circle, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 for another double crochet. So you're going to do 2 more double crochets, and then we're going to chain 2 again, 1, 2, then you're going to double crochet 3 more so that you have another cluster of 3. So that's 1, 2, and 3. So now you should have 3 clusters of double crochets in your circle. And it's okay if your circle is getting bigger, just make sure that you don't lose this tail. So if it starts getting too big, you can just pull on it just a little bit to tighten it up so you have that circle to keep working in. So now we're going to chain 2 again, 1, 2, double crochet 3 more into the center. So that's 1, 2, and 3. All right, and so now we have, as you can see, it's kind of forming that little square shape. So there's 1, 2, 3 corners, so we need to create that 4th corner. To do that, you're going to chain 2 again, but before we do this next part, we have to tighten up this circle. So how I like to tighten up the circle is to scrunch all the stitches up as close as they can get to the one side, and start pulling this tail, and you see that it's pulling that loop. So then once that loop is tightened up a bit, you're going to grab it, you're going to pull it so that it brings the other loop down, like that, and now we can pull the tail as tight as possible. You want to pull it really, really tight so that that hole is pretty much gone now and all you have is your stitches that you can see. So now that we have all of those clusters made, we're going to go ahead and join into the top. And so how you do this is you're going to find the top of your chain 3, which would be this set of V right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to insert under those 2 stitches. It can be a little finicky. And then you're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull through that stitch. So you have 2 loops, and then you're going to take this first loop on the hook and pull it through the second, and that is what's called a slip stitch. And now we can start on the second row. So what you're going to do for this one is to chain 3, just like we did in the beginning, and then we're just going to flip our work so that this opening is on the left hand side. And I'm going to work over the tail so that I don't have to tuck it in later. You don't have to do this, it's just how I prefer to. So what we're going to do is basically repeat the same thing as the first set. Do 2 double crochets right into this gap here, just like in the big circle from the beginning. So that's 1 and 2. And you can see that this is forming that same cluster from the first round. So we're going to chain 2, and we're going to put 3 more double crochets into this same gap here. So that's 1, 2, 3. So what this is doing is it's forming our corner space here to form the complete square. Now you're going to skip all this right here, all these stitches from your first row, and we're going to work into this other opening that was created by the chain 2 space from the first round. So you're going to do 3 double crochets in there. That's 1, 2, 3. And we're going to chain 2 again, 1, 2, and work 3 more into this corner space. 1, 2, 3. So you're going to repeat that same thing with the corner all the way around until you get to the end of this spot, and then I'll meet you back up. Alright, so here we are back at the start. And what you're going to do is you're going to slip stitch again. So find that top stitch, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through 1 more loop, just like that. So now you should have something that looks a bit square. If it doesn't, that's okay, because crochet takes practice. So don't worry if you have more of a circle shape or anything like that, because the more rows you do, the more square it'll look. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, then we're going to flip our work again, just like that. And this flipping it each time helps it keep that square shape instead of becoming more lopsided, which can happen if you keep doing it straight across. So you're just going to, right into this gap where your chains are, you're going to double crochet twice. So then you should have 3 bars right here in that first gap, and you're not going to chain or do anything like that, but you're going to do double crochet right back into this corner space, repeating the corners from the previous round, which is the 2 clusters of 3 with a chain 2 splitting them. That's 1, 2, 3. Chain 2 for the corner space, and you're going to put 3 more in that same space, just like before. It's 1, 2, and 3. So now what we're going to do is going to work into this single gap right here. So this is not a corner. So what you're going to do is you're going to place 3 double crochets into this middle opening. So that's 1, 2, and 3. So that creates your edge. Now you're going to go and repeat your corner right here, edge, corner, and I'll meet you back at the start. Alright, once you finish that and you've made it all the way back to your start, we're going to slip stitch into that top stitch again. So it's yarning over, pulling through, and pulling through again. And I'm going to show you how to finish this, but basically to keep going, to make a bigger square, you would just repeat that same row as the last time, and you just add one more middle piece each time you go around to each section. So how you're going to finish is you're going to chain 1, just like that. You're going to take your scissors, you're going to cut your yarn, and leave a bit of a tail so that you can weave it in. And then with the loop still on your hook, you're just going to pull it all the way through and then pull it tight, and that chain 1 right there is going to just lock in those stitches. And you can see how the granny square shape has taken form with those stitches. And then we're just going to sew our tail in. So you're going to thread the needle with your yarn. And I like to just go through my stitches to really lock it in place and weave it in so that it won't come out. And you could weave it all throughout your project, depending on how long your tail is here. Alright. And so both of those tails have been woven in, so I'm just going to cut both of them. And there you go. There's your first granny square. Hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please give it a like and comment what you'd like to see next, and don't forget to subscribe.